it going, Chuco? This is Jesus de la Cruz, and here with Javier Martinez. And we're here for the first episode of Chuco Underground podcast to feature nothing but local and great musicians, artists, painters, poets, free thinkers, and everything you can think of here in the community. Today's episode we have ElPaso Norml featured. We're going to have an interview with them, and we'll be talking in depth of what's going on here in Texas right now with the legalization of marijuana. And later on the show, we also will be having the sounds and the musical guest of Chuco Soul Project. So stay tuned as we go from the start to beginning of the show. So stay tuned, guys.
Confieso que te quiero dar un beso, me dices que no, que no. Nuestros cuerpos me recuerdo que bello hay. Por favor, y me dejas con el alma seca. Que no. Destrozado esto aquí adentro de mi pecho. Ay, 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 el amor.
How's it going, Chuco Town? This is Jesus de la Cruz here for Chuco Underground. Tonight's guest we have is ElPaso Norml, Colton Norris, or Dean Morris. My bad, man. I always keep messing that name up no matter what I try to do, man. So
you added the O-N to the Colt, too.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Well, here we are, man. Well, what we're trying to do here is inform everyone of what the movement that's going on here in the community, and maybe if some of you are interested to participate and try to inform yourselves, this is the person that we have here to talk to. So, Colton, if anything, man, what inspired you to start off the whole entire movement, man?
Well, I got into educating myself about cannabis and others via the internet right after my mother passed away from cancer.
Yeah.
Little things I heard here and there, it inspired me to dig more and eventually find the truth to what's out there and what it really can do. And so, I want to help patients gain safe access and stuff.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
We, I decided to give ElPaso a voice, so we can have our say and show, our lawmakers in Austin what ElPaso's ready for and
what the community wants to make changes, right?
Exactly.
Basically. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start off with the CBDs, man. A lot of people really don't know much about the information on it. But let's go ahead and touch base, and maybe some of you all may know something about it now. But let's go ahead and clarify and give some more information out there, man.
Well, the CBD law that was just passed and signed by Governor Abbott on June 1st allows for people with intractable epilepsy to be prescribed CBD oil from the cannabis plant. Not from the hemp plant, from the cannabis plant. It's two different things. It's very bad law. It's written real bad.
Okay.
For instance, the patient has to already go through every FDA-approved process for them to be even considered for the program.
Wow.
So, sometimes that's any medication on the market that will help that seizure disorder.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can go to even as far as brain surgery.
Wow.
So that's one hurdle of that. Also, the language that it was written with was to prescribe the medicine.
Okay.
Well, medical states like Colorado and stuff like that, they don't prescribe, they recommend. Federally, it is illegal to prescribe cannabis.
Yeah.
So the doctors do run the risk of losing their license. Whether they will or not, that'll be debated. Whether you can find a doctor that will prescribe it is also a big hurdle.
And it's very scarce, right? There's not a lot of physicians out there like that.
Exactly. And it's not any doctor that can do it. It has to be a neurologist or one that specializes in epilepsy. I can't remember the word, but it's but on the plus side, the Texas government did recognize cannabis as medicine,
which is a plus.
Which is a plus. That's the only plus I see coming from it. but that's me personally.
And also as well, I mean, I share the same way and the same feeling and sentiment towards that, because I think they could have done a little bit better. They could have introduced a little more options for what's really there and what's really needed right now in the community.
They could. And, you know, Representative Joe Moody from El Paso, he tried to offer up a whole bunch of amendments to the bill, adding more ailments to it, you know, cancer, Crohn's, other patients that could benefit from it. They weren't having it. You know, he tried to change the language from prescription to recommendation, and they weren't having it. Nobody, you know, they shot him down every time. But, you know, good thing is we got to start, you know, if the medicine ever does reach the patients, you know, then it should offer some relief. But just getting that medicine to the patients is going to be an obstacle. And
the obstacle, but which is really necessary, the obstacle to be overcome, basically, right?
Right.
So on top of that, let's go ahead and move over. What are the negatives that you feel that are really not going to even help that one little leap that they made for the process event? What's really holding it back the way that you see it?
Well, it just what I had mentioned before. You know, the language on the bill of having to prescribe it, and you know, the processes in Texas has already been set up. It's being run by the Department of Public Safety.
Okay.
And they're already in the process of setting the program up. But they have until September 1st before anything is operational of 2017.
Oh man.
2017.
That's a way to go, man.
That's a lot of patients that are going to be suffering for 2 years waiting for this program to kick off.
And I'll be honest, there's time they really don't have, right?
Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't have that time out there. So you know, something that's another hurdle. You know, a lot of people are going to be suffering. Some will lose their life before this program is effective. Yeah. And you know, it's amazing how it came about, but that's a topic for another day. But
yeah, of course. Definitely.
You know.
So let's say with that idea in mind already, will this be coming to the voters? Will they be coming to the community or anything like that, where anybody can participate and vote towards that kind of legislation to go through or anything like that? Or will it just be the higher ups that will only be available to even work with that?
To change it?
Yeah.
To change or to enact more?
Or to enact more.
No. In Texas, we don't have a ballot initiative and we don't have voter initiative. Lawmakers changed it, I believe, in 1997 or something, somewhere back around that era, to where we cannot change drug laws by those type of initiatives or at the local and county level. Everything has to be done by lawmakers in Austin. So, you know, we're really at the mercy of lawmakers. That's why the people have to be heard. That's why representatives from your district have to, you know, feel the presence and feel that that's what the community wants. That's what the people want. And, you know, that...
So let's say with that, since you already stated that, what's the process that we can all do as a community to contact those individuals? How can we go about that?
Well, one, you register to vote.
Yeah.
You being a registered and active voter will hold more precedence over something being said than if you're not active in voting. So that's one thing. Also, reach out to your district representatives. We have 5 here in El Paso. One congressman here, Congressman Beto O'Rourke. Unless you live like far in Horizon, then there is one other one. I don't know his name right now. But for the most part, El Paso is pretty much covered by the 16th district, Congressman O'Rourke. We have to let our representatives know. You can go to Google and search El Paso County representatives, and you know you'll be able to pull the information up. I don't have it right
definitely.
now.
No, it sounds good. So y'all out there listening, you already heard them. So we can do, and whatever we can do, and little part that we can do for the big movement that we're trying to make and leap. Contact Beto O'Rourke and try to see if we could even help more of the situation where we're at right now to kind of change things up there in Texas, if you know what I mean. So outside of that,
one thing, Beto O'Rourke won't have anything to do with Texas because he is at the federal level.
Okay.
You know, for Texas,
but it comes from here.
Yeah,
in
we
El
need
Paso.
Your state reps. Yes.
Okay, well then state reps. All right, your state senators. You make sure you email them, man. I'm pretty sure you can Google their name up, and all the information should be there.
Exactly.
So guys, get on the phone, get on emails, and get in contact with those individuals if you can.
Yeah, phone call. riding them, actually visiting them. That does more than anything.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
So literally in person, just...
Yeah, you can set up appointments with them and say you want to speak and go and say, I support reforming cannabis laws, keeping people out of jail, getting patient safe access, and ultimately, consuming it as a substance like a tax and regulate market.
Yeah, definitely. Which is great. Because, I mean, if you look at the examples that we have now in the United States, different states are starting to apply or jumping into that whole entire movement. Do you think they're benefiting a little bit more than we would here in Texas? I mean, considering that they're taxing everything, the revenue's coming in, it's helping the actual state itself, cover up whatever debts it might have had or whatever situations that we might have been in. Do you think that would really help Texas out right now?
Yes, it would. And one thing to focus on, and this is a big thing going on in Colorado, is the education system.
Definitely.
The taxes that they are getting and helping out the education system is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They've done so much for the education system by hiring new teachers, building new schools. We in Texas need to focus on our education system. The youth are our future.
Definitely.
And I was waiting for one of the committee hearings to come up in Austin, and I was watching them debate on the House floor, and one of the things that they were debating was where they were going to get money for a state-funded pre-kindergarten.
That's the thing.
Well, hello.
That's
what
right
Colorado's doing. That's what we need.
Yeah, we do.
And we need to contact these representatives and show them models like this and educate these representatives. Not even ours here, because ours here are local. They did amazing in Austin this session. All of them supported and co-authored the decriminalization bill.
Yeah.
And Marissa Marquez filed the comprehensive medical bill, and Joe Moody co-authored that along with her. So our representatives here locally did very well. It's other ones in other places that we need to put pressure on too
and work on that. Do you think eventually that'll come around and surface, or even anything that changed like that in Texas? Do you feel it may eventually in time, I guess?
Like the laws will reform?
Yeah.
I do. I really thought they would have decriminalized this year.
I thought so as well.
And we could talk about that in a second.
Sure.
I thought they would decriminalize this year, and we would have medical in 2017.
Yeah.
With what happened with the new law passing, my medical hopes kind of got shot down because I feel they're going to try to use that against us.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yes, I believe next year at most we'll decriminalize, for the simple reason being the decriminalization bill made it so far as to where one person held it back in Austin, and that was Representative Todd Hunter. You know what I mean? It didn't go to the House floor and get voted down. It never reached that far. It was one single representative that
just stopped it.
That stopped it. So it made its strides. And it could have moved a lot more.
It could have moved further, yeah.
But it was one representative, and I think that representative has heard the outcry, and will feel it whether it's for voting or but it might be different next year.
Since we already mentioned his name, if you all have a consideration in your heart, go ahead and contact them and try to see if we could get something done with them as well. All right, listeners. So let's go ahead and focus on decriminalization. Do you think that actually will come around, I guess, throughout the United States? Do you think it'll be a nationwide thing eventually?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. More and more politicians and people running for office are realizing what a waste it is.
Yeah.
How bad it's actually hurting communities, families, how it's doing more bad than good.
Yeah, definitely.
They'll save money in the long run, but then you're going to have those places and politicians that are in it for the money. Definitely. And that don't care. And that's where the voters across the nation come into play. You got to get people in the seats that represent what you want and who you are.
Definitely. What I've noticed in I guess when it comes down to criminalizing the individual for whatever it is, possession, the distribution, whatever it might be, it takes a lot more money to keep them or to put them throughout the whole process than it is to really make an effort to better the whole entire situation with the cannabis situation we have right now. I think they might have put too much emphasis into the whole criminalization that has just been established for so many years that I guess everybody kind of turns a blind eye to it. And now everybody's so used to just, marijuana is bad and cannabis is bad, no matter what you try to tell them. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, what process or what information do the public need to know about, cannabis, man? Because a lot of people think of it's a bad thing. I mean, if I were to tell my mom, jokingly or not, yeah, cannabis is and cannabis is that. She's an old school woman from back in those days. She thinks it's bad no matter what it is. Either what's in a medication purpose or whatever it might be for it. But it's there. The bad sentiment.
When that kind of question comes toward me, I like to ask, well, what good is the drug war doing? What good is marijuana prohibition doing? Yeah. You know, I can sit here and tell you all day why cannabis is good. Yeah. Why is the drug war bad? Yeah. If your mom, does she work?
Yeah, she used to be. She actually,
Well, she at one point was a taxpayer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It affected her, whether she liked it or not, because her tax dollars were being wasted on housing nonviolent offenders.
And in prisons, right?
Even if one's not a consumer or have some kind of interest in the cannabis market, it still affects you. Yeah. As a taxpayer.
Of course.
You know, so I like to pitch the question back. You know, we're ruining families' lives. Yeah. Okay. In Texas, $700 million was spent last year arresting, prosecuting, and housing nonviolent drug offenders. Yeah. We had 80% of our crimes that had victims, like burglary, robbery, and stuff like that, go unsolved. You know, so our priorities here are messed up because it's easy. Yeah, it's easy work.
It is.
You know, it's job security.
It's basically the due process has already been in process for the last 20, 25 years, even more.
Exactly. So, you know, if your mom knew somebody that had their house broken into and they never knew, you know why? Because they're out there arresting people with weed. Yeah. Not wanting to solve these big crimes. Yeah. You know, so that's how I try to focus it on what good has it done?
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And I don't think it's done any good. I mean, I think a lot of the states and a lot of the individuals have been held back just because of that. That's whole bad sentiment that I have for it. You know what I mean?
The whole drug war.
Yeah, the drug war itself has not really solved much of anything. I mean, if you look at the relations right now between this country and the country next to us, Mexico, things have been out of control, man. Exactly. I mean, things could be different under the table for all we know. But above, from what we perceive and what we come through every day, it's bad out there, man.
Exactly, and even this goes with, in my opinion, you know, this is Norml's all marijuana, but all drugs should be looked at as a public health issue, not a criminal issue. Yeah. You know, people are gonna do them.
Yeah, no matter what.
You know, the government pushes them, for God's sakes.
Yeah, they do.
But you know, people are gonna do them, and not everybody's a criminal. I've had a pass with hard drugs.
Really?
I'm not a criminal. You know what I mean? I partied, you know, and I did illegal things, but I'm not a criminal. You know, I never had victims. Yeah. You know, mine was all just stupid stuff, but
we all live and learn, right?
Exactly. And people change.
Yeah, exactly.
So the drug issue, you know, people, that's how I feel. It needs to be looked as a health. That's why decriminalization, you know, will come, because I see people, the whole mentality's changing.
Yeah, the mentality's changing. I mean, if you look at the culture right now from, let's say, 20 years ago, when it came down to talking about cannabis, when they had it with anything that do with cannabis, whether it was music, the television, the programming they would give you, or the pamphlets, or the education you would have at schools. I mean, you remember the DARE program back in the days.
Exactly.
I mean, they had a whole entire box full of different drugs, and everything was bad, no matter what it was.
Exactly.
But you never really got a definite, information or answer to which one of those do. People say, don't do them. And eventually, I mean, I had friends in my school here that they'd be like, hey, well, I need to get my hands on this, I need to get my hands on that. I'm like, that's not what the program's about. But that's all they did, you know? It's like, you opened up a window, you opened up Pandora's box to curiosity.
Exactly.
And didn't inform the kids or myself at that time when I was in school, and the program just completely failed the way that I see it, you know?
Exactly. And you know, with how everything's changing, the DARE program has actually dropped cannabis. Really? What they had against cannabis. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's
They've changed
good,
their curriculum. So.
Well, that's great. I'm actually glad to hear that. 20 some odd years later, but here we are now. But I think eventually in time, we've noticed that things are being, I guess, more acceptive, and I guess they accept it more. cannabis, especially within the community and within the United States. And if you look at it across the world, I mean, my times when I used to do my tours and whatnot, I went through Amsterdam, when Amsterdam was the place to be, the kind of thing, you know.
Right.
And when we went there, we had our experiences and whatever, but there was the first time I actually got to learn about the actual cannabis. I never knew about that. I thought to myself, well, just, you know, do what you're going to do with it. It's going to make you feel how you're going to feel, and great. But when I got there, it turns out to be these strains, and the strain will be for this, and the strain will do for that, and not a lot of people were educated in that. So if you could give me a little bit of an insight on that, man.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's a flower.
Yeah.
It's natural, and it works so good with the body because the body needs it.
Yeah.
Am I kind of on the right track? Okay, because the body needs it. Look, we have an endocannabinoid system in our body, a body that is designed to deal with cannabinoids.
Yeah.
And there's really no other place on earth that you get cannabinoids from except from cannabis.
Yeah.
Except from your mother's breast milk.
Of course.
That's where you get your first.
And that's the
cannabinoids.
thing that a lot of people may not know about, man.
Exactly. So we have a system designed to deal with this inside.
Yeah.
There is such thing as a endocannabinoid deficiency. I can't tell you what it causes, but it's a common thing.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. When people see that it's a plant and that it's natural and it comes from the ground, people love growing flowers.
Of course.
When they see how beautiful, or love growing roses, when they see how beautiful this is and understand and realize that it's nature, it's a part of us, that right there kind of starts opening minds. You know, just everything about it. There's so much to do that it can do. It's the most beneficial plant on earth. From over 50,000 textiles like rope, paper, clothes, oil, gas. You know, we could screw gas prices that we have now. If we made cars that run on hemp oil like Henry Ford's first Model T, you know, we would. That's a renewable resource. So the possibilities are unlimited.
Yeah, man. Do you think at one point that ideal was a lot stronger back then for some reason? Like you mentioned the president's vehicle running on, you know, cannabis oil. Was it more predominant then than it obviously is now? Or do you think that something could have changed from then, or, you know, kept on that same track on the good path?
It was. It was. And it was Henry Ford, the guy that started Ford, and this was like in the 1920s when he had his first Model T. It was legal then to grow hemp. You know, it wasn't until 1937 that the federal prohibition came about it. So, yeah, it was grown then. So they were able to run his Model T off of the biodiesel that it comes from. And that's off of hemp seed. You know, something that if you see the stuff coming from Mexico, you can get a lot of it if you do it right.
Definitely. That's all you get in the bag, man. It seems to be that way. It's not even... it's the thing that I even say, like, here in the community, Chuco Town, I think you guys already know this, the term cien semillas, you know. It's all there, man. But I guess in that talk of that, I guess do you really think that the states themselves or the country itself stopped itself from using all these sources that you could get off of the hemp plant itself? Do you think it really, hey, you know what? I have my company. I'm making paper. I've been doing this for so many years. I can't have that coming in because it'll ruin me. That's
exactly how it happened. The prohibition in 1937 started because of DuPont. Yeah. Like DuPont paints.
Those cats, yeah.
Rockefeller, Anslinger, Harry J. Anslinger, and I remember the guy's last name, last guy's name, but, you know, all of them had stakes. DuPont had the oil industry.
Really?
And of course, you know, if they can make oil and paint and stuff like this with a cheaper renewable resource, I'm going to lose money.
Exactly.
I'm not going to need the oil, you know, the oil industry. One of them had stakes in cotton and paper fields. I mean, cotton and paper, like trees, a printing press and stuff like that. So, you know, they saw it as it's gonna take money out of their pockets.
Definitely.
So they lobbied and they fought and they got it illegal. You know, and that's what it is.
And it's been what it's been now.
It's greed. And that's how it started.
And especially those cats that you mentioned, because I mean, I think those individuals, I guess that name alone, and all those cats, you know, from Rockefeller and down, they've kind of had their hands here in this country to shape it the way that it is now.
William Randolph Hearst. That's the last guy's name. Yeah, if you look, DuPont's name's everywhere.
Yeah.
Rockefeller, he's got a building in New York City named after the Rockefeller Plaza.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So yes, these are the guys that built the country, and if you can't put two and two together there, then I don't know what's going to open your eyes.
To say, right?
It's like a monopoly.
Yeah, it is.
And they wanted to control everything, and they fought so hard to get it.
And here we are now.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of times that I think about those kind of things, can you imagine the difference it would have made if things would have been the other way around, man? It's like we talked earlier. If a lot of things wouldn't have happened, we're going to have all these people that are suffering or struggling to get the help that they need another 2 years, man. And I don't understand how that just doesn't phase them. It doesn't seem to move anything up above,
Exactly. And it's funny that you bring up how it doesn't phase them, because like the decriminalization bill, there was also one representative, Myra Crownover, that stalled the whole process.
Wow.
She did not allow it. She was the public health committee, or one of the health committee's chairwoman.
Yeah.
And she did not put it up to vote. So that one person took all of that into her own hands and made the decision that no, it's not going to go further.
Yeah.
It could have been voted down. Maybe the committee wouldn't have all agreed with it, but no, she took it upon herself. So she has blood on her hands in my eyes.
Of course, man. I mean, that's the way I see it. When any individual that comes across a movement that's for the right thing to do, it just completely stalls everything out. It doesn't help. At the long run, I don't even know how the hell they sleep, man. I hate to say it, but...
Exactly, yeah.
And maybe they sleep in a big old pile of cash. I mean, I'm here trying to throw rocks at the cats up there, but that's just who I am. But other than that, I mean, hope you listeners have a better insight on the information that we have coming across. And if you guys wanted to learn more about it, go ahead and check them out on the Facebook, which is the Paso Norml page, right?
Yeah, it's www.facebook.com/EPNormal.
EPNormal. So you guys go ahead and educate yourselves, and don't refuse to, I guess I could say, don't refuse to learn more about it, man. Because, I mean, anybody can tell us right now, no. Because that's all we hear now. I mean, no matter what it is.
Exactly. And if they're saying no, then it's more of a moral reason.
A moral reason to do it.
Instead of science and fact-based.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's anybody that has any way to dispute it, there's facts out there to show that you're wrong.
Yeah.
So...
Do you think here in the community you've heard a lot more outcries than anywhere else that you've been around to or visited in Texas?
I really haven't visited many places in Texas, especially when working this kind of. So that's kind of hard to answer. I mean,
it's more out of your heart, right?
There's a lot of community support, and if you watch like the news, when they put articles out about cannabis, about any kind of marijuana, just the amount of support in the comments is unbelievable.
Really?
And we have a lot of educated people in El Paso. Just to see what some of them say surprised me, and I wish we could get these guys out to our meetings and get involved with Norml, but there's a lot of support. Even Representative Joe Moody said to me one time, if El Paso could legalize on its own, it would. It definitely would. It would. And I saw that happen in Austin. I saw the support that the representatives from El Paso gave, and that just showed it right there. It would.
Definitely.
El Paso's ready.
Can it possibly do that here just alone?
No.
It has to do with everything up top, right?
Yeah, that lawmakers change it to where it can't be done at the local level.
Oh, okay.
It has to all be done in
all
Austin
at one big old piece, right? Well, hopefully the struggle either disperses in time itself, and we start seeing a lot more participants from the community. And you all listen, like we heard earlier and we were talking about earlier, get in touch with all your people up above, man. Your senators, right? Your representatives as well. And trying to get up there and inform yourselves and get your word out there. Because a lot of people say, well, I don't want to vote. I don't like to vote. I don't know what the whole mental sentiment it is. I could probably say maybe a lot of bad things were back in the day, maybe in the early thousands, Yeah, I don't know if I want to vote for that guy. I don't even know if I could trust that guy. But I think that's a lot of the insecurity that a lot of people have had just for the fact that that's what, the politics have showed us,
Exactly. And if that's the case, well, then go vote for the ones that support what you want. If you want cannabis to be legalized, find the representatives that's going to do that. Find, and vote for them. it's nobody's going to ever change, and nothing's ever change if we don't voice our opinion.
Definitely.
In Texas, we're very limited to as how we can do that. So voting the right people in office and keeping the right people in office across the state is one of the major keys to getting the laws changed.
Definitely.
You know, putting the right place in governor. You know, Abbott was the wrong choice.
Oh, man. Well, you saw that one from miles away, man, you know?
Yeah. Good thing there's a way that he could be overturned after the fact, but, you know, they play with the bills that, you know, they can avoid that too.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, it's about getting people that are going to represent you and what you want into office. And El Paso, if that's all you care about in El Paso, then the representatives we have now are great.
That's great.
You know, I know some that are way out on other issues that some of our members don't agree with, so they want them out. But, you know, it's kind of a toss-up. You got to figure out which issue you want more. And ending the drug war should be one of the priorities of the people, because
the priority right now, man.
The drug war is the cause of a lot of problems in America. Yeah. You know, in Baltimore, the riots they had, you know, they're sick of the police. Yeah. Well, why are they sick of the police? Because of the way they're treated. Why are they treated that way? Because of the drug war. Yeah. You know, they're looked down as druggies and stuff like that. A lot of America's problems stem from the drug war. A lot of the citizens' problems with the police stem because of the drug war.
Yeah, the drug war.
And it's a horrible thing, and it affects so many things.
It's turned into a big animosity, I think, throughout the whole entire country, that you could tell. Whether it comes down to, I mean, I try not to mix into these things, but I mean, to race, to anything, to even criminalize for the, you know, marijuana, whatever it is, it's old, man. Old news. Something that maybe we all should consider as a community, as a state, as a country, to give it up already. Because I think if we're really thinking about the future, if we're really thinking about the kids, if we're really thinking about the children that are coming up in the next 20 years, do we really want to leave that example there? Do we really want to leave that on their hands? Because, I mean, I think a lot of the times when we grow, you know, we start from teenagers and we learn and we kind of come to who we are now. Eventually, we start thinking of the future. We start thinking of the kids that are around us and the people that are being affected right now. But I hope that eventually everybody will open their eyes, you know?
Exactly.
Open their eyes to the actual cause and the purpose to actually do the right things for what we're trying to do here. So I hope you guys had a nice, good session and some informative information from here. El Paso Norml, check them out again. Which is the page again, man?
www.facebook.com/EPNormal, and also our website, www.epnormal.org.
Awesome. So if anybody has a question or want to get involved with you guys or be supportive of you guys, they could all contact you there, right?
Yes. The Facebook page, you know, you can message us through there. Also, our events are on that page. We have an event tab. We have a 710 event coming up on Saturday the 10th.
Awesome.
And that's going to be at 501 Texas at the San Carlos building.
Okay.
We've got some local bands playing. We've got Steady Shakedown, Bloodshot Bandits, Bubba. I know there's a couple others.
Is there a cover fee for it, then?
I believe so. I don't have it.
Well, give and take.
It's gonna be like $5. I believe it's like $5 or $7, maybe $10. I don't know. I'll shoot you the information.
You got it, man. Well, either way, man, when you guys get out there, you guys already heard the date. Go check out the show, man. Show some support to El Paso Norml and help them out with the movement that they're trying to do and educate everyone in the community. So if you guys can do whatever you guys can for music or whatever, get involved, man. Get your words out there and get your voices heard, all right? Thank you guys very much for tuning in. And then coming up right now, we got Chuco Soul Project coming into the studio, man.
I love you
Chuco. We got ourselves an opportunity here. If you want to get your voices heard, or you guys want to put your music up here, or your artwork, or talk about anything in general that has to do with the arts, here's your opportunity, and here's the open invitation that we have for you all. Go ahead and message us to chucounderground@gmail.com. Again, XUCO_underground@gmail.com. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning and introduce her. If you guys can introduce yourselves, please.
My name is Selena Nevares, lead vocals.
JJ Hernandez, drums and percussion.
Sandra Gutierrez, flute and backup vocals.
David Angerstein, violin, vocals.
Fred Porras, bass.
Christian Charles, guitar and vocals as well.
Awesome. So let me know, guys, how did you guys really come about, man?
I'll
be honest, man. Let's be honest and clear the air. But I know you guys have been musicians for quite a while here in the community alone, so I can imagine the origins. But I guess Chuco Soul, can we get a little bit of a backstory?
I really think it's just we're all friends. We've all been friends on different levels, different connections, and we've been playing professionally on our own and separate things. And the timing was just right. It just kind of happened. It all came together, and it's been pretty strong for the past 2 years.
That's awesome. That's great. Anybody else want to put a little bit into it?
Pretty much started like an actual project. Come together, see what could happen of it, and now it's become more than just what that word is.
What it started.
The word just stuck with it, because of the name. But yeah, pretty much it was like, hey, we got this project happening through JJ. Came up to me and Fred. It's like, come and jam out and see what we can make together. And,
yeah, definitely.
And before you know it, we just couldn't get enough.
That's awesome. We're here. Well, I'm actually very honored and proud and happy to have you guys into the studio for the first time coming together.
Thank you.
And hopefully pull this all through. And I'm excited to get the audience to kind of a little bit more of a backstory for you guys to kind of give them a flavor of what you guys are aside of the music that you guys put out there.
Yeah.
But you guys are completely talented tonight. Pretty great group that you guys got going on. So let's start off with this, man. What is the word Chuco, man?
Chuco, we're all super El Paso proud, born and raised, and we love Chuco Town and everything it represents, and the mixture of cultures and the combination of styles and genres and everything that goes together in this awesome melting pot. And that's kind of what we are.
Yeah.
It's a big mixture of styles and genres.
Definitely. Because, I think throughout the years, the word kind of faded and came around. But if we all kind of realize a lot of our family members, even elders and whatnot, they all mention it. Whether we hear it one day or the next, we all hear it. We're all kind of connected to that same one word. And a lot of people don't know that about Chuco. And they don't know really the meaning behind it. But now with you guys coming into the picture, this is kind of a flavor what I want to kind of explain to the audience right now what Chuco Underground is really all about. So hopefully you guys can enjoy. But on top of that, let's go ahead and start a little bit of backstory with everybody's talents. Let's go ahead and go that way. So with the vocals, how did you start off singing?
I think I started singing before I could talk, probably. It's just something that's always been a part of my life. Choir, church, school, whatever. I've been the singer, and it's been fun. I've always done whatever's been asked of me, and that's led me to some interesting opportunities. And I love getting together with different people and trying different things and being challenged, and all those different things are steps that lead you up to wherever you're supposed to be at that awesome, time. Man. And here's where we are now, and it's just kind of a coming together of singing all the time as in whatever opportunity.
Well, that's the great thing about it, right? Like the things that we love to enjoy and to do, especially music.
Yeah.
It just progresses and keeps continuing.
I like to write music, and I like to write lyrics, and we like to put it together, and it's fun. And if we can do that in front of the community and get people together, and my favorite is when the grandmas and the babies and everyone's jumping around, and I love that. Like, to be able to play in front of the community is my favorite thing.
It's that's who comes to our shows.
And everyone in between. We have a wide range. I love the community.
But that's the thing about it.
It's my favorite.
El Paso, Chuco has that tendency to just have the whole entire family there. Mm-hmm. Whether we're one place or the next, and you guys are performing on the stage, or at somewhere that you didn't even expect to play, but they're all there.
Al Fresco Fridays, when we play Cool Canyon Nights, State Line, I mean, grandmas and babies and everyone in between. And that's the cool thing about our music, is it's not specifically targeted towards one age group or another.
Yeah.
It's just good music. It's got that Chuco soul,
Yeah. It moves everybody.
Yeah.
That's what's great.
Yeah, I've noticed that depending on the wide range of our fans, it depends also. We get to see depending on where we perform. To State Line, you see our older crowd will come out. And the younger crowd usually it's not really their place. But we go to Lowbrow or some place where it's more on the younger kids. They show up
and they're all there,
and they go show up for us and show us. So it just goes to show the demographic that we're, I guess, touching.
Well, that's the best part. That's the best part. You get to see the audience actually. It changes. It varies from whatever age it is, but it all touches them, no matter what it is. They get them moving and they enjoy the music for what it is. So your influences, by the way, any influences vocally?
Personally, everything from mariachi to jazz to Broadway to
awesome.
Mermaid.
Yeah. Everything.
Disney musicals. Disney musicals. That's the secret, bro.
Yeah.
Colors of the Wind.
Old VHS tapes.
They'll still play.
Indeed. But we all listen to so many different styles from jazz to hip hop to metal to rock to R&B and reggae and
definitely.
and that comes out in our music too. It's definitely not. We don't stick to one style.
But I think, honestly, in the years, and I've known Chris for a bit, and I've also known David for a bit, but I think we all kind of vary in music-wise. No matter what it is, we have a whole kaleidoscope of music to go through, Yeah. So let's go ahead and move with the drums, man. Percussion-wise and everything you've done, how long have you been doing this for, man?
I've been doing this, much like Selena, since before I could even talk.
Yeah.
So it just started off naturally. I had an older cousin to re-inspire me and take it more seriously.
That's awesome.
Around high school time, I was really into metal. Really, that's how it all started.
But isn't it the thing about the beat and the rhythm, I guess?
Well, let me correct myself. Classic rock. Led Zeppelin, Beatles, The Who, Deep Purple, all those.
A lot of the great
gods,
influences from rock and roll.
They were perfect studying, right? Perfect research, and then metal came along. After that, I met Chris. I knew Chris since high school too. I knew he was a musician from that time. So that's how they got into this. Met Fred as well.
Yeah.
So they brought another influence of metal and now hip hop and reggae and everything else.
So it's like a big old melting pot.
Yeah,
basically.
It's like our radio stations. You hit scan and you go from jazz all the way to Mexican rock.
Exactly. Yeah.
And everything in between.
Well, that's what we have here in the border, which is great.
Exactly. And we call this more Chuco fusion music than Latin rock. Or
I hear
like
you on that. See, that's the thing that I actually noticed when I would listen to you guys' tracks and whatnot. I could hear that in there. Because, a lot of the music that you hear nowadays, when it has Latin influences, they're there. But with you, I honestly think there's a little variation of something else that's in there.
There's a little bit of everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And I really, really, really like that a lot, man. I really appreciate that. Any influences drum-wise, I guess you could say? Musicians that you might have inspired you to?
Who not? John Bonham, Neil Peart, Fred. Fred's a great drummer.
Is that true, Fred? Is that true?
Alex Gonzalez, Horacio Hernandez. There's plenty. There's more than enough to name.
Well, I appreciate you coming in, man. Really appreciate
Thank you for inviting.
As for you, your instruments, what has inspired you to get into it?
I've been playing flute for like 25 years already. It's like a product of the El Paso public school system. Born and raised in El Paso, and went to Bel Air High School, and was just a big old band nerd all through elementary, middle, high school, even in college. I majored in music, became a music teacher.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've been teaching for the past 10 years. Went back to school to get my master's, and this opportunity came to me to play with my best friend I've known since high school here, Selena.
Well, that's a great connection.
And be her little bird. And she offered me this great opportunity to just explore this whole different side of music, because I'm classically trained, and to improvise and to play just from the heart was something very different for me, and just so freeing. And it's been such a beautiful experience to get to do that.
Well, that's definitely an experience if you I guess you make a reference to it that way, because if it literally changes from the traditional way of learning, the way you learned it, to where you're at now.
Definitely.
Obviously, it's been a journey.
It's very freeing to be able to take your eyes off sheet music.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And David? I've always been curious about your violin, man. Seriously, man. Without a doubt, brother.
Which one? The blue one?
Oh, yeah. Actually,
Everybody wants to see the blue one.
Oh, yeah, man. Always like to see the blue one. Never fails, right?
It doesn't.
You tell me.
Oh, God.
Do you get that asked a lot frequently?
A lot.
Yeah. That's his one trick. That's his party trick.
That is something that is oddly asked a lot.
Yeah.
Can I touch it? Like, why?
Why do you even go there? Do you clean it off when you get home? You know, you feel a little
I have
uncomfortable.
to do a little bit of a wipe down.
Let's not mention what I get asked.
Do a limpia.
Pásale la vela, pásale la vela.
Exactly. Right? Like, we have any eggs?
So music-wise, man, how did you really come about the violin, man?
Well, gosh, same like Cindy. I've been playing for like 25 years or something like that. You know?
That's awesome.
So, but I mean, my family's full of them. You know, we could make our own little orchestra if we wanted to. You know,
The Angerstein.
I know the Angerstein clan. Black sheep.
Yeah. You've heard the Angersteins, but this is Dangerstein.
But yeah, so I've been playing for a good while. Went to University of North Texas, studied music over there for a little while, and then came back over here. And so that's, you know, when I came back, it was, over there I was highly involved in music. Yeah. You know, and
Were you doing projects over there as well?
Like, that's what I was doing. Yeah. You know, and I was in a couple bands over there, and being at North Texas in the music department is a whole other...
Another level, right?
Whole other thing.
Okay.
You know? It's like constant. And just having just different experiences, and then coming back, I was, almost seemed like Selena too, singing in different little things and, singing, the national anthem here, singing in church over there, different things, and until eventually, just started, picking more into the scene here in El Paso, and I hadn't really experienced that since I was, off from here. And it's where I met Selena and became like the best of friends, and just been playing music together for quite some time. And so when the opportunity came for me to do to continue it on and continue jamming out like we've been doing for a long time, then I'm like, oh yeah, sounds fun.
I could do this, or we could try this out and see where it goes.
And so it's just been it's been a good experience, and that's one thing that I really like about the group too, is it's just very diverse in our backgrounds. Yet,
you guys are
familiar too, because we all come from the same place. We all kind of know the same things, and
we're all kind of weird.
We're at places at the same time when we didn't even know it.
No, but it happens, right? It all kind of comes together for a reason, or somehow drives the force to do what you guys are doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is awesome. And you, bro, how about you, man? Tell me about a little bit of the bass.
I started playing bass like in 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah.
I never really took it seriously. And then I got to high school, I started playing in metal bands, learned a little more.
Yeah.
Still doesn't take it seriously.
Just a little bit more now.
Well, here we go, a little key point.
Yeah, I kind of put it down for a bit, and then I met this dude through an ex.
Yeah.
And,
which dude?
Chris, Ian, Charles, and we started jamming, and that's when I started being like, oh, this is the jam experience, this is the fun. So
and definitely caught you in, right?
From there, I just started learning my...
And continue from there, man. Yeah. That's awesome, bro. How many years have you been doing it? Just...
Almost 8, 5, 6, I don't know, somewhere around there.
I just kept playing, right?
5, 6.
That's somewhere around there, man.
That's good.
Yeah, man.
That'll come eventually.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's awesome, brother. And how about you, Chris, man?
Man, I didn't
even know where to begin, right?
Let's see. When I was a little kid.
Here we go. Let's put the little background music for a minute.
I always liked music. Always had a place in my heart, because that's how my dad and a lot of my family ended up learning English, and being a first generation from here. So I got introduced to like Ray Charles, Creedence, and all that real soulful James Brown like stuff coming up. but I didn't really get into music until I joined orchestra.
Okay.
Started playing the viola, and it just something wasn't there for me. And then I was always doing sports, being so big. I'm 6'8", so I was always doing sports. And
so definitely playing basically both fields, if you feel like I said.
It was pretty much growing up in a real physical like family.
Okay.
Like my dad was really into running and doing exercising.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my thing. So me being 6'8", I was really pushed towards sports. And then something was missing. Even though I was playing the viola, and one day picked up the guitar. I was like maybe 15, 16, and just something clicked. There was a way to me to be able to express myself. I'm a person that bottles stuff in, and I have no way of letting it out.
So your outlet naturally just came to it, right?
Yeah, and
that's awesome. Man.
And I just kept at it. Started with metal. You know, I guess my first influences that helped me get at it was like probably Richie Valens, because you saw the movie La Bamba, so you get awestruck, you know, and you want to be that person, you know. So I picked it up, and but it was really like my influence, like Dimebag Darrell and B.B. King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and eventually just really wanted me to just continue pursuing it. There was something there, and I didn't really think I was gonna take it anywhere. It was gonna go nowhere. It's more just to be able to purge what I'm feeling inside, and you know, for some reason or another, some people were listening, and I got invited to jam out with these wonderful people, and here we go. And now I'm just actually trying to pursue this.
That's awesome, man. So captivated and literally just following what you love to do now, which is awesome, man.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And I guess my two options was either that or, in my eyes, sell out and play sports, you know.
That's the thing, man. And I think it's always been a struggle within the musician or even artistic world. No matter what we're trying to do, there's always that necessity to either have a job or whatnot to keep the income going, no matter what. But you know, inside of you, you really love to do what you want to do, which is music. You know what I mean? And it is a struggle, and the thing that we all kind of come across in El Paso, you know, through the scene itself, no matter what scene it is, which is rock and roll, metal, rockabilly, Latin, or anything that has to do with soul, even on top of the blues as well. But we all kind of run through that same problem in a way. It's not much a problem, but a little hurdle. But I think a lot of us manage to kind of overcome that and continue with it no matter what we do.
Yeah, man. Nobody really does music for the money. You know what I mean? It's all filling that
Kanye.
heart.
Wow.
Dudes, at our level.
If you're lucky and you're blessed and you can get paid a lot of money for what you do, then awesome. But it's definitely not what we're doing.
If you listening, Kanye, I'm sorry, bro.
Well, since we're talking about Kanye and all that, I guess in a sense, what do you guys make of the industry nowadays, man? I mean, I know as musicians, we all kind of notice these things, and either we acknowledge them or we just don't because we do our own thing. But I think if you look at it now, since it's so commercial, so kind of pressured and pushed on everybody. What do you guys feel about it, man?
I think it's. I think now is a beautiful time because people have the option to do things on their own, to create things in their home studios, and you don't have to
just like
submit to be a slave
just
to
like
the company, you know, just to get a song heard or played on the radio. You can go other ways, but if you want to be a billionaire and be a pop star, then that's definitely the way to go.
Corporate way.
And God bless you. I don't know.
They'll definitely give you a lot of money, but once they're done with you,
they're done.
You're
basically last year's news, and that's the way it usually works.
Yesterday's news, more like.
It's kind of sad about music nowadays.
It is, man.
That like, you know, it'll be popular on the radio for 3 weeks, and then it's just gone with existence.
Before you know it.
Not like the stuff.
It's just like toilet paper.
Yeah.
You could keep listening to it all.
And now the same year, you have the Now CD where they have like the 100 songs of the year, then were the hits, you know?
Yeah, but if you do find music that is like that, it's not what they're playing either.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. That's
why you gotta find it outside of the
mainstream. It's a product of just our now society. It knows about options and fast track living.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was noticing.
Even social media to an extent. You know, I mean, I'm so popular, have 3,000 friends, but no staying power. You know, unfriend someone in an instant. I think we carry that onto our likes and our music.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
Like we're fickle-hearted. Like you hear a song that's great and it has a great beat. Maybe the lyrics aren't the greatest or the most deep, and
but there's something there,
and it disappears.
Yeah,
some stay. You know, some stay. You still have those great artists that make it there because it's something more than just
what the usual is.
Yeah,
the program, the way I call it programming. You know.
Yeah, I think nowadays has to be a good balance between like feeling feeling, some sort of intellect in the music, and in order for it to have some sort of staying power, and not just appeal to our primal instinct of drum and bass.
Yeah, the drum and bass.
How everybody just seems to really like it.
And it's usually the same tempo. If you notice, a lot of the commercial music you hear nowadays on the radio, it's always the same thing. Vocal-wise, it's the auto-tune, infamous auto-tune, that damn thing. I don't know what to say, but
because that's the formula. That's what you need to appeal to the masses, and you stick to that formula because it's easy and it sells and whatever.
It's simpler.
Yeah,
if you want to challenge yourself, then you have to go out and seek your own enlightenment.
But I think I've noticed in the years that it started that kind of a trend, I guess you could say. Nowadays, you can see a little more openness when it comes down to the individual themselves. Instead of what they hear on the radio, they're like, you know what, screw this. I'm going to look online and see what I could find. And a lot of people would like to stray away, you know. They like to be creative with it and kind of learn different experiences from different sounds and different bands that they come across. Because they're there. It's just like we were talking about here earlier, that, you know, you really don't get the recognition and you need to get up there and whatever. But, hey, if you got the opportunity here, like we're trying to do here, it's always an open door for you guys, man, no matter what. But anyways, I appreciate you guys coming down. Let's go ahead and just kind of get one thing that I want to kind of wonder about or think about. What do you guys want to put into the community further than you already put into it? What would you like to see more out of it? Or where would you like for Chuco Soul Project to follow through the next couple of years?
Well, personally, I have big hopes and dreams of one day running and opening my own school of music.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I believe music therapy is an avenue that is not known about too much, and it's something that I'd like to bring into El Paso more of. I mean, it's here, but we don't have much attention on it. As far as like in our group and our band here, I hope that we continue growing, jamming,
and continue to evolving, I guess.
Just making new songs and growing and playing to better opportunities.
That's awesome. Well, I hope you guys do.
For me, it's all about the continuation of musicianship, and we've learned from the people who've come before us, and music has definitely saved my life, probably, you know. Yeah. It's our responsibility now in the community to model for the generations that come after us, and offer workshops, go into the schools, offer community events, just things that allow opportunities for the kids that they might not have to experience something.
Because I mean, from what I see, I think that nationwide the music programs have been kind of put down.
Yeah, it's definitely going to have to come out
the
of
most
the
of anything else.
Yeah.
Eventually, if God forbid, but if it happens and they're taken out of the schools, it's going to be like everything else, up to you to go out and seek it. So it's going to really have to be up to those community centers and outside sources of coming together. And that's great. After school programs, let's get the kids together after school and create bands and jam and have,
jam sessions,
choirs and theaters and all kinds of stuff. The arts will become solely after school kind of
events, which would be great.
It's fine.
Yeah, that'd be great, especially for kids,
but
up and comers.
Always find a way.
Yeah. And somebody that we can honestly influence without even really expecting anything out of it.
Exactly.
Which is a great thing to see. Anybody else? Do you guys have anything in mind for the future?
More people to get out to the shows. The more they hear us, you know, the whole sense of community, getting the young with the old, bringing that whole, you know, when we were children and having the family parties where everyone was there, you know, from everyone that you knew to everyone you didn't know.
Yeah.
Right? Just to have more people out there.
Some more participation.
Yeah, exactly. And like they were saying, you know, she was putting touching a note on how music classes and all these programs are being put down.
Yeah,
if
definitely.
ultimately they are ousted outside of the school programs, it's still going to be taught.
Yeah,
just
no
like the way
what.
It was back in the cave days.
Exactly,
you know? Caveman days, they all played together.
Yeah,
it was all word of mouth.
Sticks and stones and whatever
the
they
natives.
can make out of.
Yeah, we could go anywhere. We didn't need school programs.
But those were the primal beginnings of I guess you could say mankind as in music. I guess
exactly.
You know, it was in there. It transcended no matter what it was, but it came out.
And hopefully more venues for live music.
Oh man, that's the biggest thing that I've always noticed here in El Paso, man. It
they
comes
come and go.
goes.
It's
that's
hard.
the thing.
We need people to go.
Yeah, we do.
Support local music.
There's a real nice spot on that old Joe plant.
Really?
They're tearing down all that mountain for another amphitheater right there.
Oh wow!
If you guys pass by it on.
Dreams.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope
that's an aspiration.
But let's hope it actually comes together. Right. You never know, man. Because I mean, El Paso has always been kind of that place that you make wishes and you hope for good things, and eventually we all reach them no matter what we try to do. Mm-hmm. Whatever.
There's something else is like to have enough, you know, love and support from the local community to be able to get our music to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So this way we can possibly go and travel it, learn from those other experiences to bring that stuff back to our own hometown and help it even grow more. But I feel like everybody just wants to leave El Paso, so they don't want to come back.
That's the thing,
and and I think that's a really, really sad thing, because you're leaving to learn new experiences out there that this city gave you that opportunity by giving you that support, and then you don't want to come back and share what you've been learning once you leave. I wouldn't mind being able to travel and be able to bring back some of those experiences back with me, and make this place more known for the music that we know is here already,
and it's already
the culture that's here.
The culture's here, man. No matter what kind of influence and kind of genre we all do, we all kind of put a little bit of Chuco in it, no matter what we do with it.
Always.
And it's funny how many people from El Paso are all over the place. Like, that's one thing that David and I noticed that on our other tours and things, is that we've noticed that people, no matter where we go, they're like, oh yeah, my mom's from El Paso, or I have a cousin in El Paso.
They're out there.
Like,
they're out there, man.
And they hear it.
Paso once.
You always hear the infamous one. Yeah. I went by. I didn't know what to expect. I saw a star up there, but I didn't know what that meant. But yeah, it looked cool. It looked cool. Right?
I had to go. I thought it was a star, David. So I kept going.
So there's always an El Paso connection. You'd be surprised for.
Yeah, definitely. Because I've done the road a couple of years and whatnot, but it always comes back around. And the first thing they say, Chicos. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
Give me something more, man.
Give me something else, man. I know we got time.
Right now.
I know, right?
Speak up.
We got over here somebody shaking their head. No, I don't know.
I'm thinking more like cattlemen.
Oh, what the?
You gotta go hard.
Now you're talking about big old steak dinner and everything, right?
Hold on, Blue Blood. Hold on.
Hey,
let's take it slow. Vegetarian.
Well, let's see, guys. The next couple of weeks, you guys probably have some shows coming up, and we'll have this episode up. By the time you guys hear this, it should be already next week, and it should be on a Friday. So, hopefully you guys spread the word, especially on these shows that these guys have coming up, man. So open up and spread the word. That's kind of the main thing we're trying to pull here. So let's see what kind of shows you guys got coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Well,
tomorrow.
Unfortunately, we have a bunch coming up before this podcast come out.
Yeah. Well, I could imagine.
But the next one after that would be Street Fest, I suppose.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's always a good time. And
what stage would you guys be on?
Bigger and bigger.
Durango.
The Durango Street stage.
It's gonna be a new setup this year. So.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Awesome. I think they're calling it the craft beer stage, right?
That's right.
That's the one off Durango Street, but it's the craft beer stage.
That's cool, bro.
We might not have a violin player. Yeah.
Oh.
He's gonna go watch Rob Zombie.
No. Oh, you're gonna watch? Oh, we'll be there then. All right, bro. Then. Then in that case, I know where to meet you. Oops. He'll be right back. He will be right back.
Oh man, I'm gonna need understudy too then.
So you guys gonna be there? What time you guys go on stage, man?
10:30ish. I think we're the last one on that stage.
We are the last.
Well, you guys make sure to check out Chuco's Soul Project 10:30 on the Durango side street, right? For the stage and craft beer. So you guys are gonna have some brews there, man. So hit it up, and hopefully they get some free brews too, man. Because I mean, come on, we play gigs. Sometimes we like a little brews with a little cash,
Stout man, he's a stout drink.
Well, thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate you guys coming down and giving a little bit more of an insight of behind the scenes of Chuco Soul Project. And I really appreciate you guys coming in. And thank you very much for your time, man. And you guys stay tuned because we're going to have a couple of performances coming up. And hopefully you guys can enjoy it. Spread the word.